You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, guys and gals, we're going to talk about more fallout in and around the tragic death of the overseas hockey player that formerly played in the NHL with the Pittsburgh Penguins. There is more fallout. It's got to do with gear, things that the NHL is looking into, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are leading the charge on this to protect against a death like Adam Johnson tragically had the other day during his Elite League hockey game. Now, this has really been controversial. A lot of people believe it was manslaughter. Some people believe it was murder. A lot of people believe it was a freak accident. Whatever your opinion is, the NHL is now looking at taking steps into figuring out a way to prevent this from ever happening again. Also, and this is where we're going to start, we got some details about the moments right after his death at the hospital and the fact that his fiance had to go in and identify the body very, very shortly right after it happened. So let's get to this. On Friday, Sheffield's senior coroner, Tanyeka Rawdon, opened and adjourned an inquest into Johnson's death. In case you're wondering, the police is still investigating this. They are still looking into this. Mrs. Rawdon confirmed personal details about the player, including that he was from Minnesota in the United States, and gave a very brief details of how he died. She said that initial investigations have found that Mr. Johnson was seriously injured. He was taken by ambulance to North General Hospital in Sheffield, where he died later that day as a result of the injuries sustained. He was identified by his fiancee, Ryan Wolf. She said inquiries into his death were continuing. The coroner adjourned the inquest until January 26th, but stressed that this would be for review and not for the full hearing. There she is right there, his fiancee. And that, of course, is Adam Johnson. Wow. This is Matt Petgrave, the guy that actually put his skate up that collided with the neck of Johnson, killing him in a very, very vivid and horrid way. Let's put it that way. Mrs. Rawdon concluded the 4-minute-long hearing by saying she wanted to take this opportunity to offer his family, his friends, and all those who knew him her sincere condolences at this difficult time. Adam joined the Nottingham Panthers in August after spells in Germany and Sweden. He previously played 13 games for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the National Hockey League, the sports elite club competition. This is the Daily Mail, so it's a UK outlet. After his death, calls for neck guards to be mandatory have grown. South Yorkshire police said officers have been studying the footage of the incident and added the investigation is likely to take some time. So they are still looking into this to make a determination. Footage show how Sheffield Steelers player Matt Petgrave crashed into one of Johnson's teammates on Saturday in a collision which caused him to lose balance before his leg lifted up and accidentally made contact with Johnson's neck. That, of course, is where a lot of the controversy lies right now. What is the police going to determine? Is it going to be manslaughter? Is it going to be murder? Is it going to be nothing and just ruled a accident? And opinions are all over the place on this. It really is. Penguins players starting to experiment with neck guards. The Penguins are in the process of talking to their players about wearing protective equipment in vulnerable areas after former teammate Adam Johnson tragically lost his life in a terrible accident on the ice playing for the Nottingham Panthers of England's Elite Ice Hockey League. Both of Pittsburgh's minor league teams, Wilkes-Barre Scranton of the American Hockey League and Willing of the ECHL NHL have mandated neck guards along with wrist guards for their players. Quote, "We can't do that at the NHL level, but we can certainly strongly encourage, and that's our hope," Penguins head coach Mike Sullivan said. "Hopefully, as a league, we can work towards developing more options for guys in the protective department. Hopefully, there will be an initiative here moving forward. I think that could be one of the positive things that come out of a terrible tragedy." On Thursday, Penguins equipment staff had neck guards available for anyone who wanted to try them out, and Erik Karlsson, Lars Eller, Marcus Peterson, and Ryan Graves all wore them during practice. Quote, "The magnitude of the situation that unfortunately happened puts a lot of things in perspective," Karlsson said. "We do this because we love to do this, and we get paid well to do it and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we do it because it's a choice. I don't think anyone would keep doing it if it meant risking your life every day going out there. If you can wear a small piece of equipment to hopefully prevent something like this again, I think that's a win. I'll probably try it out for a bit and see if I can get accustomed to it and go from there. It's not an unfamiliar piece of equipment, as Karlsson had to wear one when he played in Sweden's top professional league, and the majority of players had them growing up playing youth hockey. But as it's been years since those days, Graves said, putting it back on definitely took a little bit of getting used to, as his design is different. It's made of thinner material, and it comes up on sides to protect the carotid arteries. You're a little bit warmer and things like that, but comparing what happened versus wearing that, it's a pretty small detail, Graves said. So it's a work in progress. I think that guys will start experimenting with it. You can wear it all through minor hockey. If you look back 15 years, no one wore visors. I remember that. I would never play without one now, so maybe this will be part of it. It's become something that's second nature to us. Graves has a big scar on his chin after he got clipped with a skate up high 2 years ago. At the time, he said it didn't cross his mind to wear more protection, but between what happened to Johnson and the overall pace of play, Graves is considering his options. It's a fast game. It's getting faster every year. You trust that guys can control their bodies, and you don't want skates to get that high, but it happens. It's scary what happens, Everyone's had close calls, and not just up high. Many players already wear wrist guards, and Graves saying he doesn't even notice them anymore. "I got cut on the wrist one time when I played back home, so ever since that, I've been wearing them," Peterson said. "I wear socks too." And it goes on to talk about more injuries involving things that's happened out on the ice. So it's going to be interesting to see if, I'm sure there's some kind of collective bargaining situation that happens, players' unions and all that in the NHL, that they would have to go through to try to actually mandate this. But I think if more players decide they want to wear it, as more players do wear it, you probably get used to it. I don't know. I never even thought about the fact that, I grew up, with hockey players not wearing anything out there on their heads or anything like that, and the game has changed in that way. And we also don't think about the fact that, athletes are just bigger, stronger, faster now versus 25, 30 years ago. That's across all sports. So anyway, this is interesting, kind of awful details about the fiance having to go in and identify the body. It's interesting that the police is still looking at this. That makes you wonder, is this going to take some kind of a turn in the outcome here? There is a lot of outrage out there. And both myself and John talked about it initially, and we were both we both thought it was an accident on first several viewings of the video, and slowing it down, this, that, and the other. But it's definitely an opinion that is not shared across the board. A lot of people believe there should be a manslaughter. Negligence is a thing, folks. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.